In Chapter 3, we will be learning about geometric construction and editing tools. By the end of this chapter, we'll be constructing this gasket here. It may seem fairly complex at first, but it's actually just an outside line that's been converted into a polyline and offsetted in a 1/2 inch. So you'll notice that we've actually made kind of the top of this out of a circle, and this is also another circle that's all been trimmed away using the trim tool. It's very useful. So I'm going to get rid of this drawing, and we're going to start learning about a few basic concepts before we attempt this. So I'm going to open up a new drawing. And to start off, we're going to use the line command and make a line at any such angle. And I'm going to make a 3-point arc. 3-point arc, I can choose 3 points to define my arc. So I'm going to start with a start point, middle point, and an end point. And if I want later, I can click on the arc and modify it by just dragging the grip. Same thing, if I just click the line and the arc, I can actually extend both of them at the same time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my Object Snap toolbar, which I actually already have out, but I'm going to show you how to get there. I'm going to go up to Tools, Toolbar, AutoCAD, and Object Snap. Now, if you don't have this window up here, what you do is you go to the Quick menu bar and press the down arrow, and click on Show menu bar. That'll bring up that bar. So I'm going to press Escape to deselect everything. And I'm going to get up my line tool. So I'm going to click that, and I want to snap perpendicular to this line. To do that, now that I have my Object Snap toolbar out, I'm going to pick on the perpendicular snap. I'm going to choose a point anywhere I choose on the line here. And notice how it's only going to be perpendicular, but I can make any length I want out of it. So I'm going to snap that and then press Escape to end the command. Now I'm going to use the Move tool in the Modify toolbar, so I'm going to click on Move, select the objects I want to move, so this line, then I'm going to right click and I want to snap to endpoint. So to do that, I'm going to click on the endpoint tool. I'm going to grab onto the endpoint of this line, and I'm going to move it to the midpoint of this circle. So I'm going to click on the midpoint, snap, and snap it to the center of this arc, or the midpoint of it. And if I want to move my drawing around, I can simply press down on the middle wheel of the mouse, and it turns into a pan command. If you don't have a middle wheel on your mouse, you can also click on the pan down here, as well as zoom. If you roll the wheel on the middle mouse, you can zoom in and out. So now we're going to get rid of this, so I'm going to select it all with a window, and I'm going to press Erase in the Modify toolbar. Make another line of arbitrary length and angle. Right click and choose Enter to exit the command. And now I'm going to divide this into multiple points. For example, if I want to snap to a particular point on this line here, if I was to say get out this line tool, I can snap to an endpoint, any intersection point on here, a midpoint, and the other endpoint. So I have 3 points on here I can snap to. However, I can divide this line into a few more points if that is necessary for what we're doing. So I'm going to press the down arrow in the Draw toolbar, go to Multiple Points, and press the down arrow, and choose Divide. Here, we're going to select the line we want to divide, and we're going to enter 5 for 5 number of divisions. Now you can see if I got the line command out, I can actually snap to these points. So this node here is a node symbol. In fact, if I was to bring up the line command and choose the node tool, I have several nodes on this line, but I need to get the line command out first. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally the 5 at the end. So that's how you use the divide command. If you want to make the nodes a different shape or style, we can go to Format, Point Style, and we can say choose it to be that. Press OK, and notice the nodes become more visible now. Now we're going to make 2 lines and show you how to make a 3-point circle. So I'm going to select this and erase it. I'm going to make 2 lines at an arbitrary angle away from each other. Okay, right click and enter to exit the command. And now I'm going to go to the circle portion of the draw toolbar and press the down arrow. Here we can choose different types of ways to input our circles. So we're going to choose the 3-point circle. I'm going to choose this endpoint, that point, and this point. See how I put the circle around it. Is we're going to use the line tool, and we're going to snap to a particular point on this circle. Notice how as I move this, I can snap to tangency if I want, which would be tangent to the circle. Now let's say, for example, we have a point out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to go add a point just right out here, say. Notice how we changed the point style earlier to that style node. And I'm going to get the line tool out again, and I just want to only snap tangent to the circle. So I'm going to click on the tangent, snap, click on the circle, and then click on the node. Notice how it always adjusts itself to be tangent. Now we're going to erase all of this and the circle. You can also just select it and press delete on the keyboard to erase it rather than pressing erase up here. And we're going to use the tangent radius way of inputting. So we're going to select that circle. We're going to select this line, and then give it a radius. And we can just either input a number, or we can actually just click on the screen and drag a distance we want that radius to be. Now we've done that, I'm going to erase this circle. And I'm going to show you how to make a fillet. So we have our 2 lines still here that come together, which is very common in a square, a rectangle, or any other type of angle that you make in AutoCAD. And we have this fillet tool in the Modify toolbar. The fillet tool allows us to put a radius or a fillet about a corner where 2 points come together. So I'm going to choose that tool, and I'm going to give it a radius. So I need to input an R, spacebar, and then I can give it a value, or since I don't really know what the lengths of these are relatively, I'm just going to give it a distance by dragging my cursor a certain distance. I'm going to click a point, and then click another point, and this is going to represent the radius that I'm going to have drawn here. So notice my cursor changes into a pick box, so now I can change my lines, or select my lines rather. So I select the 2 lines by clicking them, and notice my radius appears. That would be how you use the radius command. Now we're going to select all of that and delete it. And now we're going to make this gasket. I'm going to deviate a little bit as to how it's made in the book, but it'll all just a different way of making it, rather. So I'm going to get out my line tool, and I'm going to turn on my object snap, make sure it's on, and then I'm also going to turn on my ortho, which allows me to snap in only perpendicular directions. So I'm just going to click an arbitrary point out here, and I'm going to move my cursor in the direction I want the line to go. So if I was to input a distance right now, it'll snap perpendicularly in that direction. However, if I kind of have my cursor up here, it'd snap it vertically, backwards, and below, and so forth. So this first distance I want to go, since this is the bottom line, is 7 inches. However, it's actually -1, which will make it 6 to that first point. So I'm going to input a 6 and enter. Now I'm going to go up a distance of 2.5, which would be the 4.5 minus 2. Go over the 1 inch to make our total of 7 inches. I'm going to go up 2 inches. And now I'm going to snap the full the 7.5 inches to the center of where that circle is. Now I'm going to right click and enter in the command. I'm going to place a center radius circle here, which will be that final arc. So I'm going to snap to that point, and I'm going to give it a radius, it's already in radius mode, of 1.5. Then I'm going to get the tangent radius circle out, and I'm going to choose tangent to this surface and tangent to this surface with a radius of 1 inch. Also, I'm going to get a line out, and I'm going to use a tangent snap to the outside of the circle. So choose any point where it's tangent, and then choose this endpoint. Now I'm just going to trim a few of this geometry to clean up the appearance of this. So I'm going to click on the trim tool. I'm going to select this circle, this line, and this circle, line rather. Right click. I'm going to just remove parts of the geometry I'm not looking for anymore. Right clicked in the command. Now I'm just going to select this line and erase it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a fillet to this point and this point. Each have different radiuses. So I'm going to click on the fillet tool and put R. I'm going to give it a radius of 0.25. Enter. Now I'm going to click this line and then click this line, add the radius there. I'm going to re-enter the command with the spacebar. Now I'm going to change the radius, so I'm going to put an R and give it a 0.75. And I'll do the bottom here. And notice how all these are individual pieces of geometry that are linked together. So to use the offset command and utilize it to its fullest, we're going to connect all the geometry and make it into a polyline. You can go to the Modify toolbar and press the down arrow and click Edit, Polyline. It asks us to select one of the polylines, and then do you want to turn it into one? And Y means yes, N means no. So we do want to turn it into one, so we'll enter. And then it gives us all these options, and we want to join all the pieces. So we're going to select everything with a window, right click, and press spacebar. Now if we select the line, it's all one piece. The next thing we want to do is we want to offset this a ½ inch down to make the inside of the gasket. So to do this, we're going to offset a distance of 0.5, enter, and we're going to press that gasket and then press the inside, or the direction we want to offset in. We'll press the inside here. Now we have our basic shape, and what we want to do now is we could make a few calculations. For example, the area that the gasket actually takes up. To do this, we're going to use, under the Utilities portion, the Area command. We're going to press the down arrow and pick an object. The first object that we want to pick is the inside here. Notice how it turns green, and it gives a value for the area, which was 25.0338, and gives us a perimeter of 22.84. Do this one more time. I'm going to press the down arrow, choose area. Press the down arrow on the keyboard and press object. I'll press the outside. I'm going to right click, press the down arrow, and click subtract area. Press the down arrow again and select object and choose the inside here. Now it gives us the total area of the actual gasket, which is 12.32. Press escape to get out of here. Now say we want to modify this inside gap, this small radius right here. The best way to do that would be to explode this first. So to do that, we would pick the explode command in the modify toolbar, choose this polyline and right click, which now converts these back into individual lines. And now we're going to choose the radius tool and give it a radius of 0.5. Enter. And there you have your radius. So You can see there how it wasn't too hard to construct this and how we can do a few simple calculations to find, for example, the area or perimeter.